going on, everyone? Welcome to another fabulous episode of What You Wish You Knew About HBCUs, the channel that dives deep into the rich legacies, illustrious traditions, and incredible stories behind historically black colleges and universities. My name is Kareem Penn, your host.
And my name is Anthony Bond, and we're here not just as hosts, but as admirers and champions of HBCUs and the indelible mark that they've left on countless lives in this nation's history.
That's right. And HBCUs aren't just institutions. They're homes, they're communities, they're places where minds are nurtured, leaders are born, and legacies are built.
Definitely. I mean, listen, I'm staying here as a product. You see my shirt, HBCU grad. Shout out, Collegiate Lux. Got to be another. Like, I got to make sure I shout them out because, I think your shirt came from Collegiate Lux too, didn't it?
It did.
That's right. Collegiate Lux is owned by a graduate of an HBCU. All right. So, absolutely, man. Listen, today we have the immense honor of spotlighting a university that's close to the hearts of so many people. Alabama A&M University, nestled in the beautiful city of Normal, Alabama. This HBCU boasts a heritage of excellence and empowerment.
Man, look, for all of you who are looking to wear the maroon and white with pride, you see it, Alabama A&M. Listen, as a future Bulldog, or if you're just curious to learn and what makes Alabama A&M so special, you're in the perfect spot.
Listen, and trust us, there's a lot to cover today about this illustrious institution from its foundation in 1875 to its acclaimed academic programs, vibrant campus life, and a myriad of success stories that have walked its halls.
Hey, it's a tale of resilience, growth, and monumental achievements. So, buckle up and prepare for an unforgettable journey.
All right, we got a lot in store, so don't go anywhere.
So, Alabama A&M University, often referred to as AAMU, is a truly remarkable place with a fascinating past and a bright future. So let's get started by delving into the story of Alabama A&M University.
I mean, first of all, if you think about, just the fact that you had a HBCU that was going to be formed in Alabama, and it's actually founded in 1875, which is 10 years after slavery ended. You can imagine the environment 10 years after slavery ends in the Deep South. Right. So we already know what was going on down there. You had, Jim Crow alive and kicking. Jim Crow was strong. And, you have a college being created for African Americans.
Right.
I mean, the college has such a deep history dating back to its original name, the Huntsville Normal School. This school was established initially to be a teacher education school because during that time, if you think about it, it was illegal to teach slaves to read. There was such a small population, particularly in Alabama, right, that was educated. So creating teachers was kind of like the most important first step because you had to have teachers to have schools in the future. And I believe most of the teachers at this time were white.
Right.
Because there wasn't enough of an educated base of African Americans due to slavery and due to all those restrictions that were able to kind of like teach at the school. So, I mean, you can just imagine dealing with this in that region during a time of segregation.
Yeah. So, and harping on that focus, it wasn't until 1948 that the institution was renamed to Alabama A&M College to better reflect the higher education and offerings, right, to its students. So thinking back to what you just said about the ending of 10 years after the ending of slavery, racially segregated schools, having to have these newly freed slaves being educated and having no one who looked like them to teach them. This particular college, Alabama Normal School, is created to provide that training, right? And then 1948 changes its focus, still with the emphasis of training African Americans, blacks, right, to become teachers so that they can, teach African Americans, but now offering this enhancement of higher education. Plus, it became a land grant institution, which was significant to boost its resources and programming offerings, right? So, money that they were getting from the state to help with fostering this whole belief and idea that, hey, we are going to create something special here at Alabama A&M University. We're going to provide all the resources and the supports to our teachers, our students, so that they can provide the supports that African Americans need moving forward here in America.
I mean, listen, when we're talking about the offerings and programs, I mean that's one thing that Alabama A&M really thrives in. They have a wide range of academic offerings. The university is organized into several different colleges and schools, including the College of Agriculture, Life and Natural Sciences, the College of Business and Public Affairs, the College of Education, Humanities and Behavioral Sciences, Health Sciences, the College of Engineering, Technology and Physical Sciences. They also have a graduate school and continuing education programs. I mean, one thing that really sticks out to me the most is that Alabama A&M University graduates the most STEM students in the state of Alabama.
That's crazy.
That's crazy when you think about the big dogs that are there. You have
Right.
Auburn.
Right.
You have the
Alabama.
University of
Yeah,
Alabama. The one that we see on TV winning
Right.
championships.
Right.
But this school actually graduates the most STEM students. I mean, they're involved in a variety of, research initiatives, and they have partnerships with research institutions, government agencies, private companies. I mean, the students there get access to a lot of different research, and especially research programs that are coming to look for students that are really pushing pushing the limits of scientific, I guess I would say scientific research and innovation.
Right. Yeah, that, it's clear that Alabama A&M is committed to providing its diverse student body with comprehensive education, with all the things that you just named, and to have that label of graduating the most students in the STEM field in
Yeah.
Alabama, right, is just an incredible mark, an achievement for AAMU. But let's not forget about their mission, which includes the strong focus of research, right? So STEM falls right into that category.
Mm-hmm.
Scholarship, community engagement, and preserving cultural and historical heritage, right? So as we sit here and we talk about Alabama A&M University, and we go back to what the historical context of this university has and had on many Black people who have graduated from Alabama A&M, who will attend Alabama A&M, who will graduate in the future from Alabama A&M. That cultural historical heritage is something that just continues to pass through people, and they want to pass that on. And then think about all of their service and outreach that they are
Mm-hmm.
doing and what they're committed to um, at Alabama A&M University.
I mean, listen. I mean, service is definitely a big deal with most HBCUs. They always serve the community. They have students doing different service activities. But I mean, there's a lot of different things that we can focus on with Alabama A&M University. Just to start us off, so the university is currently led by President Dr. Daniel K. Wims, who became the 12th president of the university on January 1st, 2022. And the school boasts an enrollment of approximately 6,100 students who participate in 60 different undergraduate, graduate, and certificated programs and concentrations. For our Alabama State residents listen up. Undergraduate tuition and fees are around $10,000 annually, and that's a great deal. Alabama A&M University has a dedicated team of 800 staff and faculty members, and there are over 50 registered student organizations on campus. Their mascot is the Bulldog, and their colors are maroon and white.
Oh, so those are just some quick facts that my man Ant laid down for you all. 6,100 students,
Yeah, that's a lot.
faculty and staff 800, then over 60 undergrad and graduate programs. But the thing that I like that you said the most was for our Alabama residents, tuition and fees $10,000. Did I hear
for,
that
for the,
correctly?
and I believe that's for the year.
I think I heard that correctly.
$10,000 for the year.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
that's like a couple pairs of Balenciagas and a couple Ferragamo belts and all. Listen,
Yeah.
education is priceless. It's priceless.
It's about 90 pairs of Jordan 1s.
Ooh, that's crazy when you think about it. I mean, when the price is going up the way they are, that's like a gallon of gas, actually.
Right, so we may have to knock that down to like 85 because I think Jordan 1s, depending on the color, like anywhere between 110 and 160, right? Yeah. So, oh man, that's awesome. And the bulldog is the mascot. So, and moving on to campus life, Alabama A&M offers a variety and vibrant, diverse environment for students. Diverse being the key word in there. There are enormous student organizations. I think we talked about over 50 clubs and associations catering to a wide array of student interests. Whether you are into academics, culture, or special interests, there's something for everyone at Alabama A&M, right? It's something for all of you out there. And let's not forget about, this is up your alley, isn't it? All right.
Listen. Let's not forget about, the first of everything, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. But I'm not going to steal the show. I'm not going to.
Well, we can't forget about Greek life. The fraternities and sororities are an integral part of Alabama A&M University experience, offering opportunities for personal growth, community service, and social engagement. So I'm not Greek. I know you are. So if there's anything you want to put out there as we move through.
Listen, so the one thing, but before I even get to the Greek life, the one thing that I want to focus on is what you said when you mentioned diverse. The one thing that a lot of people don't realize that's still floating around out there, the HBCUs are just for black students.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me into the camera. I'm gonna look right to the camera right there. HBCUs are for everyone.
Everyone.
They were only created because we weren't allowed to go to the other universities. That's why. They weren't created because we wanted to be alone. We wanted our own little private school. They were created out of necessity because we didn't have a school that would allow us to go. And then, like I said, Greek life, it speaks for itself. I am a member of the Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I had to say that one more time.
Mm-hmm.
The first, we started everything. But, there are numerous illustrious, Divine Nine organizations that do a lot of excellent things around campus. Service is the main facet for all of them. And, just having Greek life on your campus, it just can kind of work to, just make campus even better than it is.
Right.
I mean, Alabama A&M already has a lot of events and activities. There's always something in full swing at AEMU. They host a wide variety of events throughout the year, including concerts, lectures, cultural celebrations, workshops, and of course, there's homecoming. There we go. There's homecoming. And this year's homecoming, one more time. This year's homecoming was in September. And listen, all you got to do is search on social media, hashtag Alabama A&M University Homecoming, and you will see exactly what we're talking about. What they say, a time was had last night. I think that's what they said online.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Listen, homecoming is exactly what it sounds like. It's the return to a familiar space for people.
Right.
I know when we go to homecoming, it's almost like you never left.
Right.
I might have a little bit less hair than the last time I was on campus, but listen, the love is always going to be the same. I mean, in addition to just coming back and being together, there's the networking, there's the socializing, there's the just overall catching up and just showing showing the love.
Right.
And when you get away from your HBCU, that's when you're kind of in the real world. So homecoming is a time where we like actually being back together.
Right. So just think about this for one moment. I'm gonna throw this out there.
Uh,
Right. 2024.
mm-hmm.
Right, is happening in what, 3 days?
Yeah.
Okay. So 30 years ago, 2024 will mark 30 years that you and I walked on a college campus.
Not me, because I'm 30 years old. So
My bad. I forgot all about that.
no, you're correct. That's that. I mean, listen, I still remember to the day my parents dropped me off, and shout out to my man Fahim, my cousin Chris. We were there. My parents drove off, and I mean that's amazing because those memories they stand out so much. It seems like yesterday.
Yes,
Definitely doesn't seem like 30 years ago. That's
30
crazy.
years ago. So 30 years ago, August 1994, we walked on a college campus, in HBCU. For those of you who are out there, for those of you who are subscribing to our channel and liking our channel and know us, you already know what that university is.
That's right.
That's going to be a great episode when we get there. We don't want to talk about what that is right now, but
Not
just
yet.
not yet.
Not yet.
Just so to put in context, right? We did attend an HBCU.
See my shirt.
Yep. And that happened 30 years ago, right?
Wow.
Walking on that campus, not knowing anything, not knowing anyone, not knowing what the experience was going to be, right? But as we sit here today and we talk about in our first episode, Alabama State University, what that was all about, their rich legacy, and now hear about Alabama A&M and going through all of their history and campus life and the organizations, it just takes us back. But we can lend ourselves to that, right? For
Yeah.
anyone out there in going through that experience now by attending, or who have graduated and want to come back and give that experience. But for all of you out there in the future who want to be future Bulldogs, like, this is what you're gonna like. As soon as I said 30 years, like, it took us back
That's
to.
right. Takes me back. I had hair. What I'm saying? I had the brush in my back pocket. I had it wasn't long, but I
Mhm.
had some hair. I was a little slimmer.
Mhm.
Think things were looking good. But it just it takes you back, and I mean that's one thing that you gain from the experience at a HBCU. Not to say you don't gain it at a PWI.
Mhm.
I don't know because I didn't attend a PWI undergrad, but there's certain things that just bond a HBCU student.
Yeah.
If you talk about experiences in the calf, oh my God, everybody can go on about being in the calf. This is what was happening. Being at football games, being at sports, all these
Yes.
different things that happen. I mean, honestly, my biggest memories were just random Tuesdays sitting outside. Like a random Tuesday sitting on the bench in front of the bookstore.
Oh yeah.
Like the amazing things would happen.
Yeah.
The amazing things.
Man, I remember the time, like, spring semester.
Mm-hmm.
I signed up to take a lab, right, for bio, and the lab was at 4 p.m. But everybody was already outside
It's
at
the
4
danger
p.m.
zone.
And it was on Tuesday, Thursday when I had to take this lab. So, you know, Thursdays in the spring, most people, that's when everything's starting. And I had to go sit in a bio lab class.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You're better than me.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
had one around that time too, and I didn't make it the first time. Let's just say that because you know I had to walk past the wall,
Oh
and the
yeah,
wall was like a magnet,
yeah,
just drew you in.
dude. So in having that experience, right,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that again we can share with all of you out there from our experiences. It being 30 plus years ago, but like just being part of that HBCU community, it's that thing that when you meet somebody from any HBCU, there's an instant connection there because it's a family, right? It's like no matter what HBCU it is, you're like, oh, you went to A&T, you went to Central, you went to Alabama State, but in that moment, we are one. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's HBCU love, it's HBCU environment, it's HBCU care and support. Um, so for those looking to stay active and healthy, AAMU provides recreational facilities, fitness centers, and sports programs. Students can engage in intramural sports, use fitness equipment, and participate in wellness programs.
Listen, for students who choose to live on campus, AEMU offers on-campus housing options, allowing them to be part of the vibrant community and university. It's a great way to connect with your peers, engage in campus activities, have easy access to your academic resources, such as the library, which are going to be one of your most important things, along with the computer lab.
Oh, yeah. Make sure the library is a special place. And for those who are interested in the arts, Alabama A&M supports artistic and cultural expression through performances, exhibitions, and creative activities. Students can participate in musical ensembles, theater productions, and visual arts.
All right, welcome back. So, I mean, we've been talking about a lot of different things from Alabama A&M, but one thing that we haven't really gotten to yet, which is how you actually get in.
How do you get it? I want to know how you get in. I know how I got into the school 30 years ago that we
Listen,
got into, but things change, right? So how do you get into Alabama A&M University as we talk about admission?
I mean, first thing, of course, you got to apply, which is you can go on to the Alabama A&M University website, which is aamu.edu, hashtag, sorry, not hashtag, sorry, / admissions. And when you get there, there's a bunch of different things there. One thing you want to focus on is the enrollment checklist. Matter of fact, so I'm going to click on it live. So we live, y'all. All right, so when you click on the enrollment checklist, you see all the different things that you need. You're going to need, number one is your FAFSA, which right now, we don't know the exact date the FAFSA is opening. It keeps getting pushed back. I'm here in January now, but FAFSA is definitely something that you're going to want to, fill out. Their scholarship window opens October 1st to March 31st. You can register for student orientation on January 1st, and when I say student orientation, that's more like a kind of student open house. And then you just start loading in your information. You have, your application. There's a small fee. You have your SAT or ACT scores. You have your college transcript. That's a big thing. Make sure that you go talk to your guidance counselor or your student services program to get your college transcripts, and make sure that Alabama A&M University gets your college transcript. That's one thing that students, I want to definitely let you all know. I'm a high school teacher, and make sure that when you go to student services and they tell you that it's sent, call the school and double check, because you want to make sure that they've gotten it. So you can apply online, or you can apply through the mail, but you're going to need some personal information, academic history, which is your transcript, and sometimes a fee. One thing that you might want to do, if you live close to maybe a location, if you're close to the school, or if you're near somewhere that's having a college fair, try to go to the college fair. Because oftentimes
Definitely.
at college fairs, the application fee is waived.
Definitely. We attended some college fairs.
Yeah.
And while there, we've seen people who got the application fee waived, but we also seen people on the spot get scholarships and accepted into the schools that they were interested in. So, like Aunt said, if there's a college fair in your area, go. Make sure you have your letters of recommendation. Make sure you have your transcripts. Make sure you have all those things in order, so that when you do show up and you meet with those recruiters at the job, at the SCART, not job fair, but college fair,
College fair, which is
right?
going to be a
That
job.
is gonna right, right. You go to college and it may lead to the job, but if you don't want to go to college, we understand that you can find a job many different ways, right? Many different paths. Um, but because we're talking about HBCUs, we'll keep it on the college track.
Right.
Just make sure you have all the things that you need to present yourself well. Because they're looking to give away money, they're looking to increase enrollment. But the great thing about it is they're looking for you to call a place home, right? For the 4 years that you're going to be there, and hopefully that while attending, you can get all the things that you need to get in that support and love and caring and nurturing environment. Um, yeah. So, all right. So we talked about some of the things that we need to you need to do to focus on and to get you into the university. So,
Mm-hmm.
as Ant said, if you we'll drop the link in the descriptions where you can find all that information about applying. So, but they do vary. Admissions requirements do vary depending on whether or not you're looking at undergrad and grad, um, and what program you are looking to study. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to recap, and we're talking about SAT, ACT scores.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the biggest thing, letters of recommendation.
Definitely. What you definitely want to find out now is who's the teacher that you can trust that's going to meet those deadlines and is going to write a decent recommendation for you. Ask yourself that question. How are you really in that person's class? And be honest with yourself because you want your recommendation to be top tier.
Right. Yes. Top tier. I mean, so you dropped a little breadcrumb uh earlier about, you being a high school teacher,
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah,
That's why
something
I don't
like
have any hair.
that. So, again, both Ant and I are in the field of education. So we lend ourselves to that as well and giving that guidance and providing that guidance of the steps that you should take as a high school student to start, building your um, your educational journey, right? Your portfolio for you to get to that next level. So again, letters of recommendation. Make sure you can, count on that teacher. Make sure that you and that teacher have a good relationship. I know I've written tons of letters of recommendation. I know you have as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, timeline is a big thing.
one
You
hundred
know,
percent.
please give your teacher at least 2 weeks before it's due. Sometimes even three. Don't run up on them and say, "Can you do this by Friday?" Because think about how many other students are doing the same thing. So
Right.
please make sure you're respecting the teacher's time.
Right. And for all of you who are juniors out there, juniors in high school, start thinking about now, like those relationships start coming in from your freshman year, your sophomore year. Who are some of your teachers now that over the summer you can be like, I think this person would be a great person to write a good letter of recommendation for me. Your coach, your guidance counselor, your principals, your assistant principals, right? All of these
Mm-hmm.
people, you want to start thinking about who they are that can paint a great picture of who you are, right? Based on the relationship that you have. Your personal statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about that essay. What can and when you think about that personal statement, it boils down to the following, right? What have you done in your life to show that you can overcome adversity, right? What is that thing that, you know, it stood in front of you that created this adverse moment, but you were able to walk through and work through to come out better on the other side.
Yeah, I
How are
mean,
you?
they're definitely looking for like obstacles and things that you can overcome. I mean, honestly, what I'd advise you to do is do some research. Look up some other topics that people have written on. Right now you might not want to do COVID because everybody's writing about COVID.
Now COVID?
Yeah, so don't write about COVID. Find something else.
Yeah.
Was there like maybe a parent that maybe had an illness that took them away from like their employment, and you had to kind of do some things. Maybe you had to chip in a little bit more. Was there like maybe somebody in your family that maybe was in the military and they were gone, they were deployed different places. Maybe were you a student, were you a military kid?
Right.
Were you in different places and go to different high schools? You got to find some kind of story that you can talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got to be something real,
Right.
because some colleges do in-person interviews, and you don't want to have written this amazing story, and when you're asked about it in person, you don't remember the details of the story at all.
Nah, that would be embarrassing, and they will march you up out of that office real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that personal statement. Think about that adverse moment, how you can contribute to the university, and then ultimately how you can affect change in the world. Right? Who are you? Think about it that way. Not what you are, but who you are. When somebody asks you that question, like who you are, right? You
Mhm.
want to be able to talk about my name. It's not my name is Anthony Bond or Kareem Penn and I did this. It's who you are. What do you value, right? What is your mission statement? What is your purpose in life? Those are the things. Those are like that's what they want to hear. Um, they don't want to hear that I was the captain of the football team. Okay, but as captain of the football team, what adverse moments did you lead your team through? Right, that's where it's coming from, and those are the things that they want to hear you talk about. So graduate programs may require a bachelor's degree. Again, letters of recommendation, statement of purpose, and sometimes standardized test scores like the GRE or the GMAT. And I'm gonna get you to stop talking about you having hair back then, right? Because 30 years ago I had dreads.
Yeah, you had more hair than me.
I did.
Let's just say that.
So we're not gonna touch on that, right?
Those were the good old days.
The straight good old days. But remember deadlines for all of whether you're applying for the spring semester, the fall semester. Remember what those deadlines are, and be sure that you know you're doing all the things that you need to do so that you can be a viable candidate for acceptance into Alabama A&M University.
Right. I mean, now, one thing that we definitely need to talk about is, scholarships.
Scholarship.
Yeah, definitely. I
Hmm.
mean, AAMU offers a range of scholarships to incoming and current students. Based off academic achievement, leadership, talent, other criteria. Service is definitely one that's kind of overlooked. Community service.
Hmm.
There are different scholarships out there for that. I mean, these scholarships they vary. They vary in just different amounts and requirements. So it's always a good idea to go check out the website. There's a couple that I do want to highlight though. The first one being the presidential scholarship.
Oh, the AAMU Presidential Scholarship.
Big money.
Big money. So this is a renewable scholarship for up to 8 semesters. Right. It covers the cost of tuition, room and board. Also includes $1,000 book allowance per semester. Right. So that's $8,000 in books that you're gonna get. Criteria, real quick. Applicants must have a high school GPA of 3.75 or above. Applicants must have an ACT score of 28 or above or an SAT score of 1310 or above. And to renew, you just must maintain a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher.
Mm. There's also the merit scholarship.
Uh,
Tell us a little bit about that one.
so, Merit Scholarship covers a course of tuition renewable for up to 8 semesters. Right? Applicants must have a high school GPA of 3.25 or above. Applicants must have an ACT score of 23 or above, or an SAT score of 1130 or above.
And even though there's so many more, one that sticks out to me is the Normal Light Opportunity Scholarship.
The Normal Light Opportunity Scholarship. So, this is a total annual value of $8,610. But what comes with this is you must reside outside of the state of Alabama. Must reside outside of the state of Alabama. So these are individuals who are coming in from all over the United States. Here's an opportunity for you to, if you qualify, $8,610. Must be fully and unconditionally admitted as a full-time, first-time freshman for the fall of 2024. Right? So this coming year, 2024, 2025 school year is what it is. Must have a composite predictive index CPI score of 20 or higher upon acceptance. The composite index score is calculated during the admissions process, cumulative high school GPA and composite ACT score. Right? So this is for students who are taking the ACT, not the SAT. They'll combine your two scores, and that score must be 20 or higher for you to have that. Must have paid all required um, fall 2024 fall semester enrollment orientation fees required or as an interim freshman. Must successfully have completed FAFSA if applicable. If selected for verification during FFSA process, must have satisfied all verification requirements before receiving this award. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Listen, that's a lot of different scholarships. I mean, there's a lot more. We definitely will put the link to that onto the description. So we'll have the links to the scholarship, to all kinds of different things.
Yep. So, and remember, eligible students may receive federal grants like the Pell Grant and federal student loans, but we want to kind of stay away from those student loans,
Yeah,
like bob and weave, like a boxer,
definitely.
like bob
Listen,
and weave the student loans. People,
Mayweather, he
Mayweather,
never gets touched.
never. Like we don't want those, right? If we have to, I understand, right? I get it. Like there are moments where we didn't do all the things that we needed to do in high school, right? Because we're still trying to find ourselves and all the things, and we may have those moments, right? Again, that lends itself to your personal statement. There may have been some adverse moment you had to overcome, your grades suffered, whatever, and you may have to take out a loan. But at all costs, if we can avoid that, bob and weave it, that's what we want to do. So Pell Grant, work study, that will help cover some of your educational and tuitional expenses. The financial aid office is at Alabama A&M is there to help you and walk you through all the things that you need. But do know that 91% of the students receive some form of financial aid at Alabama A&M, whether it's scholarship, grant, work study, and then that last thing, student loan. Right.
We're not even gonna talk about that.
We don't want to talk
loans.
about that,
Do
right?
not. Do not.
No.
All right. So make sure you keep that in mind. All right. Now now it's time to get active. AMU competes in a variety of intercollegiate sports as part of the NCAA Division One. The athletic teams are known as the Bulldogs. You can catch them in action in sports like football, basketball, baseball, track and field, cross country, soccer, golf, and tennis. In addition to sports, there's also the Maroon and White Marching Band. Listen, if you know anything about HBCU, people kind of sometimes they get their snacks during the game because they don't want to miss halftime. Because halftime is where the magic happens. Listen, the Maroon and White Band is amazing. They're so good that they were actually featured in this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Listen,
on live TV, like nationally broadcasted TV,
nationally broadcast.
NBC.
That's right.
Yes.
So guess what? Remember, the band also gives scholarships.
Yes,
so
they do.
if you are a student that also plays an instrument, don't sleep on the band scholarships. Bands give scholarships just like the academic programs at the school. I mean, listen, scholarships is a scholarship no matter where it comes from. Because the thing about it is, bands, football teams, sporting teams, they all have one thing. They are all a community. And that's one thing that AEMU offers, a close-knit and supportive community for the students. The university values diversity, strives to create an inclusive environment, and welcomes students from various backgrounds and cultures.
Yeah. So just thinking about athletics as a whole, right? And the band being part of that, the band, the marching band, the maroon and white.
The maroon and white.
Yeah. Where do they often put their outside of this past year, the Macy's Day Parade? Where do you mostly see the band and their performances, where people can just be in awe of all the things that they are doing? But you kind of mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. When I hit you with the what, but it's not just homecoming where they are on display, right? Every home football game, they're out there, they're doing their thing, right? So being part of the athletics and the band, having that, it's always good to see student athletes representing their university with pride and members of the marching band as well. So AAMU participates in the SWAC conference, Southwestern Athletic Conference. Their one of their biggest games, right, is the Magic City Classic. and that's when they take on their rival, Alabama State University. So just I felt and pleased. I want to pay homage to Alabama A&M. So I'm gonna sing the lyrics to the fight song. Right. So here we go. Stand up and cheer loud and long for dear old normal. For today we raise the maroon above all others. Our noble team now is fighting hard to win the fray. We've got the win, we're sure to win for this dear old normal's day. Fight, fight, fight. So that goes to all of,
Listen,
um,
sexual chocolate, ladies and gentlemen.
oh, that's crazy. That is so crazy. Shout out to all of Alabama A&M University athletics department in there. So, and we've been talking a lot about Alabama A&M University, the foundation, athletics, financial aid, admissions, academics. But I think there is this one thing that needs to be said, and that is the strong traditions that Alabama A&M University provides. Um, it's an experience, and these traditions often revolve around homecoming events, athletic competitions, cultural celebrations, and academic achievements. So we touched on all those things, but deep in those things are deeply rooted traditions, right? Everything from the Magic City Classic when we're talking about athletics to now this hopefully this tradition of like being on Front Street with the marching band, being on the national stage, all the things from the academic achievements, and we'll talk about who some of those alumni are that have created some of those academic achievements. To everything, thinking about 2025, where Alabama A&M is going to be celebrating its 150th year of, home proud homecomings, right? So
150
deep,
years.
150 years, deeply rooted traditions, in all those events. I think though that's important also to lay down that foundation and let people know out there, like if you're interested in a school like Alabama A&M, that it is deeply rooted in tradition.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, when we talk about tradition, the communities are what make these schools so special. And when we talk about community, Alabama A&M University focuses a lot on community engagement. It encourages the students to be actively involved in the college campus, um, both the campus and the local community, through community service projects, through volunteering, just overall contributing to the betterment of the region. Students will get plenty of opportunities to make a positive impact. I noted for a fact that those students, they work throughout the community. They have days where they, serve homeless. They have days where they, pick up trash. They have days where they assist with things like voter registration, going door to door, letting the public know about different things. So community engagement is like extremely important to Alabama A&M University.
Yeah, and just being part of something, being part of a community, right? Just thinking about you're gonna meet people from all different walks of life and all different parts of the country and different parts of the state of Alabama, but coming together, having this tight knit community, having each other to be supportive, leaning on one another is an important fact. That we need to tap into and people need to tap into. Plus, the university offers and provides a wide range of academic supports and services, right? Everything from tutoring. And hey, I'm going to tell you right now, if get a tutor, there's nothing wrong with getting a tutor and having a tutor.
Definitely.
And, you know, for that extra help, that extra support, to get you over the hump, or just to have that person that you can bounce different ideas over and walk and help you walk through different things. Like nothing embarrassing about getting a tutor. advising study groups to help students succeed in their educational journey. And if you can form a good study group and have that study group, like especially when you get into your major, and you
Yeah.
all can form a tight knit community and have that study group, like the more support you can have, the better your educational journey is going to be.
Listen, you're gonna need that tutor because high school math. What's Pat Joe say? Yesterday's math is not today's math. It's not going to be the same.
No,
You
dude.
might be an A student in high school. When you get to college, you're gonna have professors from different countries, professors from different backgrounds. You may be the youngest person in your class. There may be adults in your class. Don't be afraid to reach out for help and get a tutor because that is one thing that you are going to need support. And when we talk about support, you talked about study groups. I mean, listen, I wouldn't have made it without my study group, my education group. I had my people. I'm not even gonna say that, but I did get assistance with several papers.
Oh,
And I appreciate that.
dude, the writing labs, the writing centers, the math labs, like all those, you take advantage of those things. They're there for you to help
Yeah,
support you through. So don't be ashamed of any of that. And like if anybody tells you, nah, I did all this other stuff, right? I'm not gonna put a lot of people out there, but there's probably a lot of people out there looking using Chat GPT.
listen, don't do it. Don't do it. Now they've created all kind of things to combat Chat GPT. It's best to try your best because one thing that colleges are big on is plagiarism.
Hmm.
Plagiarism can get you kicked out of the school.
Yes.
And not only does it get you kicked out of the school, it stays on your record. So when you try to go to the next school, they know you were kicked out of that school because of plagiarism.
Yeah.
So the honor code is serious.
Yes.
It's very, very serious.
Yeah, so take advantage of all those supports that are being offered to you. They're there for a reason, and there's no shame in any of it, right? You are going to need some help along the way. So just reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out. Um, it's there for you. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. I mean, and so really, really, when we're talking about reaching out, peer groups are really, really important in high school and college, but more in college when you're away from home and, probably in a different state, away from your friends you might have grew up with. So, AEMU offers a variety of student organizations and clubs. These organizations provide opportunities to explore interests, develop skills, develop leadership skills, create lasting friendships. I mean, there's a lot of different organizations. You got organizations that focus on different things, such as it might be um, a certain television show, such as anime. You have outdoor organizations that may go out and take a hike. You have organizations that might do sports. There might be an intramural basketball program, intramural football program. There's a lot of different organizations. Video games. Video games is a big one. There's a video game organization. There's a lot of different ones. And if you get there and you don't find one that you like, you can create an organization. There is a process. Get your friends together and you can create that and maybe leave a lasting legacy of that organization surviving after you're gone.
Yeah, and that's important, right? Being able to find your niche, find the thing that you are attracted to, and if it's not there, being able to create it and being innovative when you do it, right? So let's not say we can't do something because something is not available. We find it, we create it, we make it to where, it has this long lasting legacy, right? And it becomes part of that tradition and that foundation. And for those of you who like enjoy culture and social activities, Alabama A&M hosts a range of events to celebrate its diversity and promote cultural awareness. Everything from lectures to performances, cultural performances, theatrical performances, workshops, you name it, they are providing these opportunities for you all out there. So don't pigeonhole yourself. Get out there, explore, get involved, take part in everything that the college life has to offer you, especially what Alabama A&M is offering you all out there.
I mean, listen, let's not forget about the alumni though. I mean, the alumni, you'll see them at homecoming. Listen, don't laugh at the alumni. They might be a couple decades back in the fashion game. You might see them in their snug, faded Alabama A&M University. But guess what? The alumni are the ones that can get you a job when you graduate.
Networking.
Listen, networking. Can we say it one more time?
Networking.
Networking. Networking will push you to the forefront. I mean, AMU offers they have a long history of alumni. I mean, such as astronauts, Dr. Mae Jemison, Grammy nominated artists such as Ruben Studdard, civil rights activists such as Fred Gray, and politicians like Mo Brooks. AMU alumni have left a very strong, indelible mark on this world.
Yeah, it's truly inspiring to see how Alabama A&M has played a role in shaping these incredible individuals that you just mentioned. So let's give them a round of applause for all the things that they have done. All right. So it's like I'm sitting here thinking about we're alum of our university,
That's
and
right.
when we go to homecoming, people are going to be looking at us like, how can we help them get to where they are trying to get to, right? So that
Definitely.
networking
Definitely.
piece is very important. So don't forget that.
All right, and finally, we've talked about a lot of different things that Alabama A&M University and a lot of different things that Huntsville, Alabama has to offer. But finally, we got to my favorite part, and that are the things that you can eat in Huntsville, Alabama. I mean, there's no shortage of amazing local foods to explore, from classic Southern comfort food to international cuisine. I mean, Huntsville has a diverse culinary scene that can cater to actually everyone.
I love food.
Listen, I'm hungry right now. As soon as we finish, I'll be eating something.
Me too.
Unfortunately, it won't be barbecue down in Huntsville, Alabama, because that's what I would really like. I mean, one of my favorite spots to go to in Huntsville is Jomo's Barbecue. And you gotta say it like that, barbecue, because I mean, listen, if you go down and ask for barbecue, that's what you're gonna get. You got G's Country Kitchen. You got Big Ed's Pizza, which is known for their pizza and pasta. And I mean, but the thing about Alabama is, you got the restaurant, and then you got the guy on the side of the road. It looks like a barrel, but it's not a barrel. It's actually a grill.
It's a grill. It's a
It
smoker.
Listen, that's where the best food is at in
Yes,
Huntsville, Alabama, on the side of the road.
I love food, like good food. And I know you all are probably wondering, like, what does this have to do with anything that we just talked about in like HBCU colleges and trying to bring awareness to and exposure to all of the universities that we're going to be, covering in this one, Alabama A&M in particular. But like, if there are, I've talked to a lot of people, and you probably talked to a lot of people too.
I
When you,
talk a lot.
yeah, and when you go on like the kids that go on college tour trips and this, that, and the other, sometimes when they come back and they be like, "Man, the food wasn't good." Like this, like that. That's that's a crucial. I want to say crucial part, but that's an important part in whether or not people, especially people coming in from out of state, whose parents aren't around to give them home cooked. They looking for good meals, right, and good food. So we thought this would be a fun way to throw out, the different, cuisines that are out there that you might want to reach out and try while you're attending Alabama A&M or on a visit, whatever the case may be. This is why we did it, right? I know when we took my daughter to on her college visit, you know, she was like, "Oh, the food wasn't good. I need to have good food." So that prompted me and us to put this in there, right? So please, it's again. I also love food. That was another reason why it's there too, and so does Ant. So, but and highlighted three spots. So, when you're down in Huntsville, check those spots out. And for all of you who are down there and at Alabama A&M University, continue to support those restaurants. And if you know of any other restaurants that we should be highlighting, We'll provide our email address in the bottom for you to send those restaurants to us. So that be that I think that
Is
wraps
that the
it.
end? We're at the end already?
I believe so.
Wow. It's
I
definitely time for me to eat.
Yes, yes, yes. So we just want to say this concludes our journey through Alabama A&M University. We hope you enjoyed the podcast and gained a deeper understanding of the history and community and opportunities that Alabama A&M has to offer you. Um, for all the things that we talked about, we will drop in the descriptions below the links in the description below. Alabama A&M, the alumni, the restaurants, all those things. So financial aid. Again, if you have any questions or you want to continue your research, log on to the website Alabama A&M University. If you have any questions for Ant and I, again, you'll find our email address in the descriptions below. Um, I think what we're doing or trying to do is, hopefully we can reach some people.
Just let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know how great and amazing these HBCUs are.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. All right. Because I know I knew about a handful of HBCUs before I walked on that campus 30 years ago, 1994. And your Howards, your Hamptons, your Spelmans, Morehouse, right? Your Clarks.
But there's actually over 100 different HBCUs.
100 different HBCUs. So our job and our responsibility, as not only educators, but just as, people who want to see positivity and you all be exposed to the great things that these HBCUs have to offer. So thank you for joining us again. I am Kareem Penn.
I'm Anthony Bond.
And we will see you on our next episode of What You Wish You Knew About HBCU.
Peace.
Later.